Hey everyone, happy Friday. Listen, I want to talk about the statistics, quote unquote, the fact that 90% of businesses fail even to get off the ground and make a profit, even in 2020. Now, why is that? Well, the obvious reason is they're not doing what the other 10% are doing, but it's deeper than that, to be perfectly honest with you, is we actually are addicted to the process. We're addicted to almost succeeding. We're addicted to doing the things that feel like we will be successful. We're addicted to learning things. And we get to a point where right before we should do the things that are the 10% that would make us succeed, we back off because it's scary, because it's risky. And we're making a choice that we actually prefer how it feels before that. We actually like the feeling of almost getting to that point. And because that's been a pattern, and that's been a pattern for a lot of people, a lot of business owners, and they also listen to their friends, their family, there's a lot of other factors, they're chemically addicted in their minds and in their bodies to getting right to the point of being successful, of making a profit, of running a successful business. And then they quit, and then they fail, and they deceive themselves that that's not what it is. That's the other one. They believe that there's outside circumstances, outside factors, outside influences that have nothing to do with them for why they couldn't get to that last 10%, and refuse to take ownership over their choices, their decisions, and where they're at. And if this is you, you have to make a decision today that no longer are you going to get to that point to where then you keep repeating the same patterns, and start to notice that pattern. Start to look at that pattern in your life. Are you addicted to feeling like you're doing all the right things? Are you addicted to that feeling like you're getting to that point of almost having something that's successful, and then you back off? Are you obsessed with feeling like you're doing all the right things, feeling like you're doing what you should, by the way? And I see this so often with people that I coach, that I work with, is man, they're doing all that they should on the surface level, but it's not quite breaking through. Because we have to give up the need of doing what we should, what gives us gold stars, what makes us feel like we're doing the right thing, and actually be willing to take risks, step out, do something imperfect, do it even if it's not going to be perfect. Realize that it's okay to do something half done, that it doesn't have to be completed for you to break through, and that there's no right or wrong way to do things. And we're constantly looking for what is that right way, and we become addicted to the pursuit and the search and the striving, that we get to 90% there, and that breakthrough 10%, I'm telling you, is where we finally give up the need for everything to be perfect, for us to look good, and we begin to believe in ourselves that even if it's not perfect and I don't look good, it's exactly what I need to do. And then we start to step forward, take ownership, and we stop pushing the blame off on other people or outside circumstances for why we are where we are today. And so why do 90% of business owners fail even in 2020 is it is a pattern that we repeat throughout our life of getting almost there and then blaming. Getting almost there and then it's too hard. Getting almost there and then not taking a risk, not stepping out, not being willing to look bad temporarily, be judged by people, make some mistakes, leave some things undone, not do everything in your life perfect, and realizing the fact that we can't do anything perfect, and then going after our goals. Because we're prioritizing that feeling of, hey, at least I did everything right. So at least I did everything right, but it failed. It's not on me, it's on something else. And we choose to blame why we didn't get to that last 10% on anything else but ourselves, because of the pain that we would feel if we had to take that ownership. You have to be willing to feel the pain to realize what the truth is. You have to stop trying to avoid pain so much that you can take ownership and say, hey, listen, I didn't talk to the people that I should have, gotten the right information. I didn't focus. I let my fear, whatever it is for you, keep me from getting to that next level. And then when you do it again next time, realize that's your pattern. Stop avoiding the fact that that's been your pattern. That's the other thing too I see people do. They get to that point and then they avoid that they have a pattern of getting there. They avoid it so much because of that pain of admitting to themselves that, hey, listen, I've never broken through this point before. And it sends them right back in the same loop, the 90%. And so what's the difference that the 10% of business owners that are successful, and maybe it's even less than that, do that the 90% aren't doing? They're taking risks. They're stepping out. They're not worried about what their friends and family are going to think of judging them. They don't have their entire life built upon other people's opinions dictating to them their value and their worth. They know who they are. They know where they're going. They have the confidence to do that. And this is something that can be developed. A lot of people think, oh, well, that's a born thing. That's a born talent. It's actually something that can be developed in people, because it was developed that it actually produces not doing that. It was trained over time. We actually become trained in our life to break at that point. We actually become trained to do that. And so you can train yourself to not break. Part of that comes from visualization, visualizing yourself getting past to that next level. The next thing is asking questions, being willing to look stupid and look like you don't know everything, to ask the questions to help you get to the next level. Being willing to humble yourself and not appear to be perfect and have it all together to get to that next level. For you to reach that next level, you have to stop trying to look good to other people as your number one goal. Your goal in that 10% isn't to look good, by the way. Yeah, you're going to look good, but that ain't your goal, and it should never be. For you to break through, you got to get rid of that need to look good, that need to get good job, good boy, good girl. And start to do the things that you know to do, even if you get judged, even if it's less than perfect, even if it might fail, even if it's completely uncertain and risky. To start to take a step forward and go after your goals, after your dreams, after the things that you know that you were called to do, that you know that you want to do, that you're choosing to do, and start to realize that you are actually choosing to not do the things that are going to get you there. And that might be a hard thing to admit to ourselves, that I've chosen to break at that point. But we have to come face to face with that and start to take ownership. If we don't, we're never going to move forward. When you do, you're going to start to see breakthrough happen in your life. So that's what I believe is the reason why, and a lot of it has to do with we're addicted to the feeling of ramp up. We're addicted to the feeling of ramping up and starting something. And when we start to see it break through, we actually don't want to give up that feeling. We love the feeling of ramp up so much, the excitement that succeeding actually is less exciting because we never experienced it before. We've only ever experienced the ramp up, and so that creates that cycle right there. It's time to break through. It's time to take a step forward. It's time to do the thing that you've been putting off and take ownership over why you keep stopping and start to press through and start to break through. Listen, I'm not talking about striving, by the way. I'm talking about letting go of the need for striving and start to flow into the next place of your life instead of trying to control everything and hold on to the past so tightly. Start to leap into the future and watch everything start to unfold for you. Listen, If you want to talk with me, start to do some coaching with me on growing your business and reaching the next level, head on over to my website, jeremiahkrakowski.com/coaching. That's what I work with people and coach them through, is a strategy and a plan to get to the next place in their business and grow and reach their goals the first time. We'll talk soon. Grow your life, everybody.